We are very excited to have two of Asia's leading blockchain venture capitalists with us tonight. Just so that you know, Nicole and Xiao, it's been a long day, and we're very excited that over the course of the last few hours, we've had a host of venture capital general partners here in Europe and in Asia join us. In Europe, we had 1KX, Fabric, and Greenfield presenting. In America, we had Castle Island Blockchain Capital, One Confirmation also, and Faction, and now we're in Asia. So just to get us started, we know you very well, but our audience, which is primarily family offices, high net worth individuals, and multifamily offices, they may not know HashKey and LIF so well. So what I'd like to do is suggest that we ask you to introduce your firms. Xiao, maybe you could tell us first about HashKey and the Wangsheng Group.
Sure. Thank you, Matthew. And so HashKey Capital is an Asia-based blockchain VC. We only invested in blockchain and crypto. So we started to invest in this space since 2015. And we're like the early investor of Ethereum. Actually, might be the first institutional investor of Ethereum. So after that, we've been doing this investment more and more in a more and more formal way. So since the beginning, we invested through our own balance sheet, and later we set up an independent entity called HashKey, and this is a new brand. Since then, we've been managing 3 venture funds, and total AUM is about $1 billion US. So since then, we've already got more than 400 portfolio, I suppose. And we literally invested in everything related to crypto. And yeah, that's for HashKey Capital. And actually, we have a comprehensive financial group on top of HashKey Capital, which dedicated in all kinds of crypto business. For example, like a HashKey exchange, and nodes operation, and wallets, asset management, wealth management, and OTC prop trading, including everything. So that's for HashKey side. And also we have a broader company called Zhang. That's another service company who does more incubating and accelerating things for the whole industry. So Zhang collaborate with a lot of layer 1, layer 2, or big ecosystem to help them to boost the user community, and also to help them to build the developers community. So that's how we help project or ecosystem adopted in the real world, or especially help them to go to market in Asia.
Thank you very much, Xiao. And moving over to Nicole and LIF, we're fortunate that we've actually been in most of the HashKey venture funds, but LIF is a new relationship, and I know Joy and you have spent a lot of time together. Maybe Nicole, you could introduce both your backgrounds, because you and your team come from very interesting backgrounds, and then tell us a little bit about LIF blockchain.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Matthew, and thank you for inviting me, Joy. And yeah, like our team, we're kind of I would say old and senior, plus like a young, energetic kind of a combination. So myself, I do crypto only. I started from traditional finance. I did a lot of PE investment previously. I worked for this kind of blue chip companies in Singapore, but those deals was not exciting enough for my appetite. That's why I switched to crypto since 2020. I joined a company called Binance, and then I grew their portfolio from 40 million AUM to 20 billion at all-time high. So Binance strategy was more like a long hold, which is the reason we didn't sell token at promising price. It was a choice, not an investment decision. My partners, they are like alumni of Goldman Sachs. So they have a lot of experience in fintech, like IPO process. They are literally the people who brought like major banks from China, to IPO and access to the whole world. I really respect their experience, so I feel like from their side, they offer a lot of like expertise in terms of fund management. And myself is more like having access of all the crypto communities and like in terms of incubation, also like listing process. I think that's our specialty. And for LIF, we are a fund based in Singapore. We run on a very small team. We're very lean and we're very focused. So HashKey has a huge portfolio, but we're like less than 10% of it. So from 2022 June until now, we have 35 portfolio companies. So our strategy is more like pick the alpha and we stay with the alpha. We don't invest in competitors. For each sector, we pick one. Unless the sector is big enough, we might pick two. And then once we pick the alpha, we'll back the project in every single round as long as it has demonstrated progress. So recently we also do a little bit of ecosystem OTC. That is also with a similar like alpha mentality that we know this ecosystem have some like a good perspective or they're pivoting and so on. So we run on a lean team and we provide enough portfolio support. So it's, I would say, like slightly different investment strategy, and we we focus more these days. I would say like a little bit of spreaded. I think Asia we put about 20% of the whole pocket, and the Middle East, Europe, we put about 10 to 15%, and the rest are mainly like US based teams. Sometimes they are like Asian background founders, sometimes they are like native locals based in the US. So it's a very diverse portfolio and run by alumni of finance and Goldman Sachs.
Thank you, Nicole. Sure.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Xiao. So next question would be a question for both of you. So how would you categorize the various investment themes within a blockchain, and which theme that you're most focused on for this year and next?
Yeah, I think that's an easy answer. So in blockchain, we always categorize the sectors into infras and applications. So within infra, there are like layer 1, layer 2s, or bridge, or ZK proof platform, or mining, nodes operation, etc. And for applications, it's easier to understand. So there are DeFi, RWA, DePIN, gaming, social, etc. So yeah, you can see that the narrative or innovations of blockchain always rotate between those two. So in every cycle, application adoptions will be one of the key drivers of the bull market. Then as adoption grow, new infra demand will show up, and then builders will build new infras or making ones. So that applications can be easier to build or easier to adopt it. Thus, they attract more and more users and push another wave of bull market. So actually, this in traditional internet space, they're the same app infra cycle, but in blockchain, it's more obvious to see it because the cycle is shorter. And yeah, to answer your second question, what we focus on for this year and next, I would say crypto AI is always the top priority for us, because AI is where most of the talent flow and capital flow run into, and it's changing every industries, including blockchain. So we're sure that crypto plus AI, there will be something new coming out. So we are looking into like autonomous agents, like intent-driven agents, etc., and also agent-to-agent transactions and communications, or multi-agent orchestration layer, etc. And for crypto plus AI, we're also looking to like proof of humanity as AI becomes more prevalent and hard to distinguish between real and fake. And also stable coins and payment will be another focus of us because the whole industry is expecting Circle to go IPO this year or the next year. And also the whole industry is expecting more friendly regulation of stablecoin coming out. And at the same time, the development and expansion of stablecoins are like a significant focus or significant innovation, especially in emerging markets, where they can serve as a hedge against their local currency volatility. Yeah, I think that's the two main focus. Oh yeah, and there's another one which is RWA, where we can tokenize traditional assets such as treasury bond or working capital or even energy resources on blockchain. So it can give on-chain capital easy access to traditional yield or traditional assets. And well, because many on-chain protocols are really generating revenues now, like layer ones or DeFi protocols. And there's really limited choice for them to do treasury management, or there's a limited place to park their capital on-chain. So for example, they either reinvest it into DeFi protocol, which is very risky, or they put it into staking, which generate token-based yield, but still exposed to token price volatility. So an on-chain low risk yield or low risk or treasury management product will be very helpful. So it can generate sustainable return and they don't need to do on and off ramp frequently. So these are the three main space we're looking at for this year and the next year.
Thank you very much, Xiao. And Nicole, I think we discussed briefly about the AI crypto segment as well. And do you have anything to add on that?
Well, just for AI plus crypto, for sure. So we focus less and less on application layer. So in our dimension, we have application layer, middleware layer, and infrastructure layer. I would say the biggest power, like blockchain, enables AI is more like the production relationship, the trust, right? Like in terms of how decentralized, how do you make sure AI is mutable, like AI can be trusted to cover your assets. So these are the unique strengths of blockchain. But then again, if we really look at the current AI landscape, it's more like agents who are deployed on AWS. And they run on custodial wallet, which is completely nonsense if you talk about like a blockchain scenario. So these are not trustworthy AI, and we don't invest in that. Actually, we don't invest in any application layer AI at the moment because it simply is not ready yet, and it doesn't run for long term. And then, as I mentioned, our strategy, we're very focused, and we do plan to invest in multiple rounds for one project. We don't want to have those and die early sort of target. So what we focus more on is more like middleware. Middleware provide, like for example, decentralized storage, this kind of high throughput sort of solutions for either inferencing or like data provision or sometimes decentralized storage. So all these potentially help help AI have a little bit touch of decentralization, but to be honest, they are not so rough enough. In my opinion, for example, there are a few projects, Polychain probably invested, like Gaiebe is one of them. I don't think it's a so rough solution yet. It's more like solving it to the middleware level. Or projects like BitTensor, like Tau. Tau to me is like a decentralized like Kaggle. It somewhat helped with decentralization of AI, but it doesn't solve the whole problem. But more like we're more into the infrastructure level, as in we need a solution to literally provide decentralization to the granular details, like how your AI is, how your data is carried on chain, how your model is deployed, where is it deployed, who are covering your assets, how your assets are custodied on AI and blockchain. So these are the, I was almost like philosophical question we are considering. So these days we focus on the very much foundation. And right now, when AI is such a bubble, we focus on the first principle level and we want to cover the basics. But moving forward, when these layer one, we actually deployed two recently. So when this kind of layer one level or like a very fundamental layer of AI blockchain is covered, and then we start to invest in those trees and flowers for the whole ecosystem.
Thank you, Nicole. A question we've been asking all of our GP, our venture general partners today is about getting a unique edge. And Nicole, I'm going to ask you to go first on this one. We know that most venture capitalists don't get a good return, at least here in Silicon Valley, but a few get exceptional returns. And one of the reasons that some of the best venture capitalists in the world do get superior returns is that they are able to access and also partner with the best entrepreneurs in the space. And, to be honest, Nicole, when you were running $20 billion at Binance, we all know that the number one listing every entrepreneur in the world and in this ecosystem wanted was the Binance listing. But now you're at LIF. So when you're at LIF, Nicole, what's your edge? What's the reason that the best entrepreneurs in Asia and around the world want to partner with you?
I think it comes with two folds. One is you pick the founder, that's step one, and second is how you groom the founder. So when you pick the founder, like for me, I have my ways of analyzing the founder's personality. Usually I need a team to be very wholesome. You have a very good executor, you have a evil genius, and you also have someone who is very, I would say like eloquent, able to bring up the narratives and who are, I would say shameless enough when they pitch the idea to the broader audience. So if I find this kind of perfect chemistry, this kind of combination, I'm usually like more keen. In terms of background, like what Ivy League school you graduate from, those are important, but not yet. I would focus more on their background. Did they challenge themselves? Do they have the determination to complete something? Are they kind enough? A lot of times I don't like especially male founders who have relationship issues. I know if they can screw up their relationship, they can also, screw up my investment potentially. So these are the ethical parts I would analyze as well. So with those in mind, I would pick I would say like a team with good chemistry. They defend each other, they protect each other, they support each other. These are very important. But of course, at the end of the day, I feel like blockchain industry is still young. Like myself, I actually have a PhD in physics. I did like this kind of end-to-end research before. And to my kind of standard, I feel like a lot of the new blockchain narratives and the product, it's not mature. Like you feel like they don't think things through. They don't have like a waterproof kind of logic that is, ready for peer review kind of articles. But for crypto, you need to have an open heart. You need to be technical. You need to go through the details and why this is an improvement. And then you also need to have a very tolerant heart. These boys, they're juvenile. They're not mature enough. They're very young, but they're full of ideas. They could pivot eventually. So as long as they are energetic, sometimes they're spiritual, and then they're innovative. We want to pick those kind of teams. So that's step one. Step two, like as you mentioned, we want to make sure we have a good exit. So that's the reason we pick alpha and we keep backing them. We want to make sure they are the alpha in this whole industry. In my opinion, these days, right, like number one list on Binance, number two probably list on other tier one centralized exchange, but the valuation stabilize it probably like 10x difference. So if you don't invest top two in this industry, your investment is barely cover the investment cost, I would say. So how to repeat this process is very important. So along the way, right, like most retail users, they don't understand. They probably don't understand. There are definitely smart ones, but the majority probably don't understand the sense why this product is different from the others, right? Like you need to help them build the narrative, and to help them to have a clear kind of go-to-market strategy, who to talk to, how to promote themselves, right? Like there are a few standards listing team covers, right? Whether you are talked about, whether you are unique, whether you are the sector leader, what your data are like, what is your KPI, how you accrue your revenue into your tokenomics. All these factors, I think we have very standard answer. Myself, a lot of times I feel like I'm a tuition teacher. I help those company to fill up all the I would say necessary exercise so that they are ready to be promoted as a potential listing candidate. So that's more like our strategy in terms of picking portfolio founders.
Thanks, Nicole. And the same question for you, Xiao. You know, how do you pick them and how do you get the best ones? Oh, you're on mute, Xiao.
Yeah, sorry. I think that actually two questions. First is how we pick founders, and the second one, why founders pick us. So yeah, for the first question, we will make sure it's within our network, and we did enough like cross-check about this founder's background, which is we cared the most. So yeah, the founder's integrity and also ability to adapt to the market, and also like insight of what he's doing, like the vertical sectors of his project, and also a sense of secondary market and tokenomics will be important. So that's how we pick founders. And this for the second question, which is more important, how we can get access to the deals, or how we can convince founders to choose us. I would say our biggest advantage is that we see enough deals on the market to understand the whole market. Where does the whole market go? So we can bring the founders what they don't know, because you know, most of the founders, they only focus on what they're doing, but they don't know what's going on outside their sectors. So we can bring them a very thorough and completed landscape about the whole market, as well as yeah, like how the macro goes, and how will the macro impact the crypto market. So that's for one. So we also do like advisory or like coaching for free as a value add, or portfolio portfolio value add. So when we talk with them, we can bring our insight, and sometimes they really need to pivot. The founder might know that, but they don't know how to pivot or where to go. So we can coach them and bring them some new directions. And secondly, we are also close to every like centralized exchange, because they're all like Asia based, and you know, they're alumni from Binance or Huobi or like OKX is everywhere, and yeah, we have a like close relationship with them, and we know what exchange platforms are looking for. Sometimes their strategies are like go vertical, but sometimes they just list they also bet on like communities or like founders. The listing strategy is completely different with investment strategy. So sometimes the founders they need to pitch exchanges in another way. So for this kind of things, we also give them advice or our insights, because we catch up with those exchange or IDO platform very frequently. So we're stay updated on the strategies. And the third things is that we have a like a thorough ecosystem behind Hashkey Capital. We are not pure financial investors. We can bring them more synergies with our brother department with other companies like accelerators. We can help them to build the whole ecosystem, and also we can bridge them into like traditional like institutional world, because we have a lot of like institutional clients, and we are quite good bridge between Web3 and Web2 financial industries. And also we can provide them like not guaranteed, but a better choice or a better chance for exiting, because we also have an exchange behind us. And we can provide them like low cost nodes operation if they're layer 1, layer 2 platforms. So that's a whole package with our investment to win the trust of the founders. Yeah.
Thank you, Xiao. So sounds like the two funds have a lot of criteria in common. So great GPs think alike. So my next question, I mean, we start with Nicole as well. Is what is different in Asia? So what it takes for an Asian GP to succeed in crypto sector?
I actually think like crypto doesn't really have borders. You have to have a very international mentality. And I think we're all kind of swimming around, and nobody is like exactly focused on Asia only. And if you see the price definition, right? Like sometimes Asia, I would say like last cycle, Asian teams has very high FCVs or valuations like when it comes to listing. But this year, because everything is about US new presidency, Trump administration promoting crypto and everything, and then US having a little bit of privilege. I guess what's really fundamental for us to stay competitive is that we need to have a global mentality. We need to be very sensitive in terms of a geopolitical issue. We need to understand what is going on, like both primary and secondary. Because at the end of it, we all need to exit eventually, right? Like you have to think, I would say like 3 to 4 years ahead. That's about the life cycle of one crypto investment from formation to exit. Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole. Xiao, you have.
Yeah. Actually, I need to admit that for Asia Fund, sometimes it's hard to get early access to US-based projects. But yeah, eventually they will need help from Asia, because every project, especially in blockchain and crypto, they need to go global, and probably like US or European founders, they don't really understand the Asian market, especially Asia. There's a lot of like key countries or key markets in Asia, for example, like China, Southeast Asia, or like Japan, Korea. Every country is different. So you really need a local advisor to advise you like where to go or how to go to the market. So every like literally every project will need that. So that's our advantage, to get into like as early as possible. And the second thing is that to be fair, Asia VCs are closer to exchanges or closer to exiting ways, so they know better how you promote the formation of the listing or formation of the secondary market, and even the formation of communities. So this is also what every project needs. So those two are like the biggest advantage of Asia VC to gain deal flow from the Western world. Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Xiao. We had a question that came in, and I should have said earlier on that I'm one of the 3 people on the Hashkey LP advisory board alongside Alibaba and Temasek. And in that capacity, we helped a little bit with the launch of the Hashkey ETFs with Bosera, which I know, Xiao, you're in the venture team. There's at Hashkey, you also have the asset management and ETF team. But the question that's come in is, can you share a little bit about what are the implications of the fact that your ETFs have in-kind, commitments, whereas here in America, all of our ETFs do not have crypto in-kind commitments. Is that something that you know about? I know you're in a different part of the hash.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know what this in-kind means, and actually we are quite supportive team, and we're like selling the ETF product or promoting the ETF product for everyone we know. Like everyone in the team are doing that. So yeah, so in-kind is actually in-kind payment is building a bridge from crypto into Web2 financial world, because you can imagine that a lot of protocols are making money on chain, or probably a lot of like high net worth individuals, they're making money from trading or like on chain yield farming or etc. So their revenue is generated on chain, but if they want get safer or like more centralized centralized custody experience, if we don't have in-kind payment of ETF, you need to first like off-run your money, get your cryptocurrencies back into bank account, and then invest it in traditional world from your bank account. That's a very long process. But if you have in-kind payment in ETF, you can just directly go off-run through that product. And also like ETF can also serve as a custody solutions. So yeah, instead of dealing with the custody services by yourself, or manage the custodian account by yourself, you can easily park your money into a simple product with one click. It's just a subscribe, and then if you want to exit, you can just redeem. So it's very easy product. And also in what stands behind an in-kind payment is that sometimes you can think about the nature of crypto assets. If the ETF itself can support staking one day, in-kind payment, it's easier for them to migrate from like fiat into on-chain asset. For example, if you take Bitcoin directly and custody the Bitcoin into a custody wallet, and someday when the regulation approves staking with ETF products, you can just park that BTC on a staking protocol, or yeah, Ethereum will be a better example because it supports POS better. So you can easily do on-chain like staking, which generates more revenues or like extra yield for the investors. So yeah, that's why it's important, and that's how it makes different.
And for the Americans who are still with us, we have a problem here that if you hold Bitcoin and then you want to go into Bitcoin ETF and you have to sell in order to have cash, you pay capital gains. And so for us, a in-kind solicitation commitment process, we could take our Bitcoin, move it into the ETF, and potentially do it without having to pay any capital gains, subject to the tax authorities agreeing with that. So we're all trying to get in-kind added to existing Bitcoin ETF products here in America. And then you also talked about yield staking and other things which today haven't been possible in our Bitcoin ETFs. But I know we had Matt Hoogan of Bitwise earlier on this afternoon, and I know he would have wanted to call out those things. You already have some of those advantages. They're trying to get those added here in America as well. Joy, over to you. I know we've got just a couple more minutes, but maybe you've got another question for the team.
Yes, maybe a question for Xiao as well. So, do you see like with the market currently, and Hashkey also operate exchanges and do asset management as well. Do you see the convergence or a bigger split in secondary market and primary market for early stage token listing? So, for example, when you're betting on a very good team and you have conviction on the primary market, but when the market comes down on the secondary market, like how do VC or venture capitalists cope with this type of situation in such a volatile market?
I think it's very common to see that VC also invested in secondary market, maybe through OTCs or direct purchasing token, because it's Web3 VC is actually different with Web2 VC, where even you invested in secondary market, you're still investing in early stage projects. So yeah, sometimes when the product hasn't been launched yet, but the token is launched on the market. But for us, when we evaluate a secondary market deal, we also go through VC methodology like team analysis or product analysis, or how will they go to market in the future, and how will they like compete with other competitors. It's not like analyzing a matured company through a DCF valuation model or etc. So for us, the methodology or the mindset are the same. So yeah, that's for many how many VCs investing in this market. And also I will say in bear market and in bull market, the investment thesis are always different, because in bear market, the secondary, the token price sometimes undervalued because of the market sentiment is very negative. So at this moment, probably you can make some you can buy some cheap like cheap chips, or you can take advantage of the the undervalued momentum. And then in bull market, for us, we will rather choose to help our portfolio to exit, because it's the hype is going on, and it's not very smart to bet on either primary market or secondary market at that time, especially on secondary market. The valuation is like hype a lot, and in primary market, the hype is coming slower, but it still exists. So we will decide for our fund. It's quite flexible to do both primary market investment and secondary or liquid investment. So for us, we will choose based on cycles and based on the deal itself. Sometimes products, they just go live without raising any money on in primary market. So what we can do is the only way we can get in is through purchasing tokens. So yeah, we will respect that.
Thank you,
Perfect.
Xiao.
And I have a question for Nicole, because it came up earlier, and given your Binance background, you may have a view on this. There's some confusion around the relationship here between Bitcoin and the altcoin markets. I think a lot of investors had been expecting or hoping that we would see a bounce back in the altcoin market following the Bitcoin surge. And some people are saying, well, yes, it's going to happen. You just have to be patient. It will happen, but not yet. Other people are saying, no, the relationship has changed, because there's just so many tokens now that the expectation should be most tokens won't go back up, and it will only be the best ones that bounce back. So the connection between the altcoin market as a whole and the Bitcoin market has broken. And we now have to be more differentiated. And I'm curious, Nicole, what's your view on where we are in the cycle and what's going to happen next?
I think every cycle is slightly different, but we do see like this cycle for altcoin, like there, I would say the pumping potential is not as previous cycle. I remember like when I was working for Binance, and like my team also would manage Binance Launchpad. We're a very small team of 6, and we pick projects from literally hundreds of thousands. And then literally every single project we list on Binance Launchpad or Launchpool, it goes 100x, like no exception. But for this cycle, even for Binance, you don't have that kind of a magical touch anymore. I think essentially it's not anyone's fault. It's just that liquidity is drained. Like if you see more like global liquidity wise, we are in a complete different position as in 2020 or 2021. So simply we don't have enough capital in the industry. And also if you think about the leverage level, it's also not there. But then that being said, right, I think fundamentally altcoin and Bitcoin is I would say it's a battle between like humanity. Like those who profit from Bitcoin, they will always think they're so good with different alphas, they will have access of other strong investment. They will always sell their Bitcoin at their satisfiable kind of price level and move to altcoin. They think they will bet on the best others. Like altcoins. So at the end of the day, right, like there should always be a shift of Bitcoin dominance. Right now, I think it's 60% above in terms of Bitcoin dominance globally. That's a factor I also watch. So we would meet a situation that Bitcoin dominance reach 45 to 50% level, and then altcoin has a crazy bull run, and then it all goes quiet down again. Bitcoin run all the way back down to, I would say first the highest mining cost level. Right now, I think it's about 70,000. And then next step, touching the minimum kind of mining cost, and then touch a little bit deeper and then went back. Every single cycle is exactly the same. It's not because we're trying to read the candlestick chart. It's about humanity. They will always seek new investment and seeking the next alpha.
Thank you, Nicole. So it's almost time for us to wrap up for this panel. And thank you, Nicole and Xiao again for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you as our partners, long-term partners and co-invest together. So let's move on to the poll, and let's welcome back Matthew to have us participate in the polls.
Yes, and thank you very much, Nicole and Xiao. Very much enjoyed it.
Thank you for yes.
Thank you so much for having us.